brothers and sisters, peace be with you. This is the second Sunday of Easter, and this Sunday is also called the Sunday of the Divine Mercy. The Sunday of the Divine Mercy is a Sunday that was started by the church not long time ago, for it followed by the apparitions that were welcomed by Sister Faustina. And it is on this ground that Pope John Paul II decided on the canonization day of Sister Faustina, that is the 30th of April, the year 2000, that every second Sunday of Easter will be called the Sunday of the Divine Mercy. This Sunday is the Sunday of the Divine Mercy, for we indeed see the mercy of God. The mercy of God appears and is experienced through Jesus. We know what happened to Jesus after going through the suffering, the death, and the resurrection. When he appeared to his disciples for the first time, he did not blame anybody for denying him or for abandoning him and for whatever they did to him. Instead, he appears and says, "Peace be with you." Peace be with you is the message that we are receiving from God, from Jesus today. And today we are going to read from the first reading. We are reading from the Act of the Apostles, chapter 2, verses 42 to 47. And the second reading is taken from the first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verses 3 to 9. And the gospel is taken from John chapter 20, verses 19 to 31. When we sum up the message of these three readings, we are hearing a message of peace, a message of peace and mercy. Jesus is showing us that we need to be peaceful with one another, just as he is not condemning his disciples who denied him and abandoned him during his suffering, but instead he appeared by saying, "Peace be with you." Peace be with you is a message that we need to extend to one another. Do we believe that Jesus is risen? The testimonies that we are getting from the Holy Scriptures are all drawing us to one thing, that we need to understand that Christ is risen. If Christ is risen in our lives, if Christ is indeed risen, we need to understand that he is risen for our own sake. And how do we understand this? We need to know that it is written in the letter to the Romans, chapter 10, verses 17, that we have faith from what we hear. And what we hear is the word of God. The word of God is telling us that Christ is risen. Do we believe that he is risen? Do you, my brother, my sister, believe that Christ is risen? If he is risen, then why do we have to be troubled? Why do we tremble before problems? Why do we get sometimes to panic when we are in situations that we don't understand? Do we put our trust in God? Let us trust in God who is risen through his Son, Jesus Christ. The risen Christ is the one who is going to solve everything. Let us extend that peace of the risen Christ to everybody. And today the message that we are giving and is inviting us to be advocates of peace and mercy. Let us be merciful, let us be peaceful to one another through the gatherings that we do, as we have heard from the first reading. All the Christians could gather and share whatever they had. May we be peaceful people. The Lord be with you.